Well, since the last time I saw you, I thought we would go on a bit of a run in the league. Unfortunately, that hasn't been the case, but we are still top of the league, and if we win today, we will remain top of the league against Xamax. We've also got the Europa Conference League phase to show you, so we'll show you the fixtures in that, as well as the Liechtenstein Cup, and any transfers we've made so far. So strap yourself in, take it easy, let's roll that title. Welcome back, everybody, to episode 14 of the Liechtenstein Challenge with Vaduz. And as I mentioned in the intro, it hasn't gone as plain and simple as I would have liked in the league. Since the Ton game, we've had a couple of defeats that have affected us in the league. But as I mentioned, we are top of the league at the moment. So after the Ton game, we lost 2-0 to Xamax, who we are playing today. Then a really unconvincing 1-0 defeat to Ville, a 2-2 draw to Schaffhausen, and then another defeat to Thun, 4-2. And then we decided to pick up form right when we needed it. A 2-1 victory, unconvincingly, I must say, against Cham. 3-1 against the title leaders at the moment, or at the time we played them. Yverdon, which was very well deserved, especially since they beat us 4-2 at home. And I said at the time that was probably one of the most undeserved victories they ever had. Then we beat Stade Noir at home 3-0, another draw to Grasshopper Zurich. But we did eventually beat them in January, a 1-0 victory, and then Delamont getting a draw against us just before the Xamax game today. I'm not going to go in terms of more detail about some of the fixtures here. I'm just going to basically show you the league table as it is now, and then we will get into the one cup game that we had in the Liechtenstein Cup, and then we will show you how we did in Europe. So yeah, let's get into the league table. And if you haven't done so already, please make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It's greatly appreciated and it does help me out. Thank you. And as you can see, everyone, we are top of the league, currently with 11 wins, 4 draws and 5 defeats on a goal difference of 18. Yverdon are joint first in the league, but they've had more draws and less defeats than us and have 4 less goals scored in terms of the goal difference. And then it's Xamax, Ville and Schaffhausen, followed by Grasshopper, Stade Noir, Thun, Delamont and Cham. It's changed probably a little bit since you last time you saw in terms of the bottom half. Cham were really in the middle of the table, and it looked like Thun were in a really bad place, but they've had a couple of manager changes and they've had a turnaround in form. It's nice to see Delamont doing very well. They've been playing, I would say, pretty good football. They got a draw against us, and well deserved. But it looks like it's going to be at this stage of the season anyway. It's going to be between Schaffhausen, Ville, Xamax, and us and Yverdon. I don't think Grasshopper Zurich are in really any situation to potentially challenge us or challenge the top 5. I think 10 points at this stage is very hard to catch, as probably we found out last season. But really happy to see Samba on 11 goals there, and Nico Segura on 7 assists. In terms of overall details, let me just quickly show you that if I can get away. So yeah, we've had the most goals so far in the season. Where you can see there with 42, 4 and 24 against. But we have we're not the best team in terms of defensive, but we are outscoring the opposition more than conceding. So that's the promising thing. I'm just going to go through the Liechtenstein Cup game that we had against the fellow Liechtenstein team. that we played, and then we'll get straight into the Conference League fixtures. So pretty easy win for us against Rugel in the Liechtenstein Cup. I want to say we probably, from looking at the stats, we dominated the game, but the 2-0 scoreline, I think maybe we could have probably been a bit more convincing, but it's nice that Tobias Feniger has scored his first goal for the club. He's not really done very well in the league. And then I've also been playing a lot of the youngsters in terms of Liechtenstein players, so it's nice to see that they are getting game time. But we're through to the semi-final now. We've got a game against Triesenberg. And Vaduz too are playing Eschken/Moran, so we could end up playing Vaduz 2 in the final like we did in the semi-final last year. But the goal will obviously be to win this trophy so that we can have another spell in Europe. So speaking of Europe, we didn't have the best of times in the Conference League phase. I wasn't expecting much from this, but we gave ourselves a good account. Unfortunately, it was a defeat to Vaduz, then a draw to HJK of Finland. We did beat Partizani and Mainz, and also got a draw against Partizan at home. But the two defeats, the one, as I mentioned earlier, from Vaduz and Bodo Glimt, really cost us. And then in the end, we just missed out on qualification as well, and Mainz as well, which was really annoying. We just didn't score enough goals in the competition. Maybe conceded too many, but we finished above a lot of big teams in Europe for our first season in the Conference League. So the likes of Dynamo Kiev, Apoel Nicosia, HJK, and Aberdeen as well. Really annoying that we missed out on the second phase, but I think it's going to be a bit of a blessing in disguise for us missing out, because that allows us to focus on the league, which is the most important thing. But I'm hoping this has improved our reputation a little bit, and I will just show you the finances. This has had a massive impact to the overall balance in terms of every game that we win or every game that we drew, we get some form of fee from, I think it's UEFA, something like that. But as I say, those two defeats and the draws really cost us in the end. But it was a good learning experience for me anyway in Europe to sort of maybe put more emphasis on playing our best teams in Europe. But at the end of the day, we've got to get promoted this season, and hopefully if we do get promoted, that means next year, if we're not in a relegation scrap, we can focus more on Europe. But that's for another episode. So just want to mention a signing that we made in the summer window that I didn't realise that I'd mentioned in the last episode, so apologies on that. But we have brought in Gabriel Guriano from Empoli on loan until the end of the season. A 6'1" centre-back, Italian, has played one game for the under-21s, but has been huge for us this season. He did have a injury that cost him for 3 months, and I think that hugely affected us at the back. I don't think we can sign this guy permanently, but I mean, if we can get him on loan next season, that'd be great. But he's been massive for us. But as I signed him before the start of the new season, it didn't come up with the transfers, so I completely forgot about that. So my bad on that. But he's been really crucial, and you probably saw him in the Tun game anyway. But yeah, he's been massively important to us. We've missed him with his injury, but hopefully no more injuries, please. And then one signing we made in January, we spent 130 grand on Dorian Debachi. We had him last season for Vaduz. He was okay, to be fair. Got 1 goal and 1 assist. I just needed him in terms of a body for the squad, because we've had so many either injuries or sales, and the fact that he's under the age of 21, registered in the homegrown nation, Switzerland, is what we needed. Impact sub, I believe, is what we've got him on, and somebody that can develop. Probably looking at him as a winger in the future if he can develop a bit more. But at the moment, I think we've got him on like a Mazzala training. But I don't think he's too bad for 130 grand. And if I'm not mistaken, we've still got a lot of money to play around with. Come the sort of end of the transfer window, I don't think we'll be bringing any more players in. We do have an end of contract bid for Ilian Sauta of Bellinzona. I was looking at this guy at the start of this season, but we didn't make a move for him because we went for Giuliano from Empoli. But he was playing in probably the worst team last year and got a 6.74. And this season he's got a 7.05 for Bellinzona. And I'm mainly looking at him as an anchor. I think that might be his best role of him being 6'1". But having said that, he can also play as a central defender. The only thing that maybe concern us is injury records, but they're nothing insanely bad. And the low determination is the only thing that maybe might be another concern. But I think he is potentially a player that could help us going forward. I'll keep you posted on any transfers that I make in the next episode. And finally, before we get into the game against Xamax, I just wanted to show you the youth intake preview. It looks like it's not going to be a great intake. The only one player or players that look like are going to be any good is the defensive midfielder area. Goalkeepers, centre backs, central midfielders, attacking midfielders, the rest look to be a poor intake, but let's hope that one or two of the players that come through there are decent. Something that I want to continually improve on is the intakes that we get, because as part of this save, I want to get more Liechtenstein players into the team. I did say at the start of this challenge that we will be having to bring players in that are not Liechtenstein nationals. So anybody that we can get from intakes is a bonus. Just something quickly I wanted to show you before we get into the game. A couple of nice things have just popped up in my inbox. So Yanis Latil and Noah Lampert came second and third respectively on the Young Player of the Year in terms of the Challenge League. Liam Chipperfield won it, probably most deserved, but Yanis has been really good for us this season on loan from Young Boys. I'm going to try my best to get this guy in next season, but I probably am living on a prayer. But you never know, things may change, but hopefully we can get him in. And Noah Lampert, who is one of our young Liechtenstein players, 17 years old, has been a breath of fresh air for us. I'm really happy with him. And I think this guy can go all the way to the top. Hopefully with Vaduz, but I've got a really bad feeling that once we kick on with this boy, bigger clubs are going to be sniffing around him, unfortunately. But for the time being, really happy with him. And as well as that, Tom Ritzy Hulsman has got the Goalkeeper of the Year award. He has had 20 appearances this season so far, 24 conceded with 6 clean sheets, and 1 player of the match on a 6.9 rating. So really nice to see. And he's also acknowledged the fact that the Vaduz effect has helped him out. So hopefully he can go on and get promoted with us at the end of the season. Fingers crossed. So we have made it to the Xamax game today. We've also got Schaufhausen playing Yverdon and Cham playing Grasshopper Zurich. We're hoping that Schaufhausen will do us a favour and get a win or a victory against Yverdon. But we have to be a bit weary today. If we lose to Xamax and Yverdon also lose, that will mean that Xamax will overtake us. Also, if we lose and Yverdon get a draw or a win, they will go above us. So it's mightily important that we win the match today. So this is the lineup I'm going to go with. I've made some changes since the Delamont game. We've brought in Lacasso as he was suspended for the last game, so Isaac drops to the bench. Then we swapped the fullbacks around, so Kijaweski for Gasser and also Segura for Keller. I thought they would be more important in terms of the fullback situation against Xamax. We've also brought back Fosso and Lampert and put Latihi up front. I've also brought back Fabio Fur and Samba on the wings. We've dropped Noah Holstein. Tim Varian's on the bench, and we've also dropped completely Goliard because he's had a little bit of a falling out with us because of not getting the correct game time to provide for his promises. I think it was 15 assists that he needed to try and get the fringe player, which I think, it was the impact sub. It was one of the two, and he's not happy with us now. He's not happy, so he's gonna get dropped out. But I'm not overly worried about that. And there's no major changes apart from that. I'm just going to get into the opposition instructions now, and I'll see you at the match. So here we are for the Xamax game. They have gone with their trusted 4-4-2, which they've played for a while now. We're going with a 4-3-3. Form seems to be quite similar for both teams, and as you can see there from the table, top three in action today. So it will be interesting, and I'm going to shake this man's hand. Don't know him very well. We're going to be playing in the blue today, Xamax in the red and black, and we are kicking off at the start of the first half. Let's see how we get on. Hopefully it's a win. Nothing really to report in the first 5 minutes. As soon as I say that, we do have a highlight. Danoon, Kijaweski, Samba, Lampert, Danoon, Lacasso, Garano. We've got a lot of control of the ball here. Can we do anything with it? Fabio Fur complaining for offside there, but they're not going to get it. And that man again, Emmanuel Samba. That's my really bad sound effect. He's doing very well from that inside forward role on the left hand side, and he loves a good header this year. He's scoring more headers than Tim Varian, which is to say something. But we've got him on a new contract as well this year, Samba. So that is a very good start, I must admit. Yeah, 2 shots on target, 2 shots as well. And at the moment, we deserve it. I was going to say it was against the run of play, but I disagree with that. We look like, from the stats anyway, in the bottom left-hand corner there, that we're doing much better, which is good. But Xamax seem to be coming back into the game now. We do have a throw in here, though. Lampert. Samba again. We scored again. I will get some proper Samba music in. But that is a great goal. And Kutin just has no chance. 2-0 in 22 minutes. Brilliant. Brilliant start. And Yverdon are losing, which is even better. Grasshopper and Charm to play in the later fixture, but that is a good result for us in a way. If Schaffhausen are beating Yverdon. But so far, so good. What would be even better is if we can get a third or a fourth. Segura on a yellow card, so he's going to miss the Charm game. That looks like their only major chance of the first half for Xamax. But so far, so good from us. A very good first half. Can't complain about that. I am looking at some changes already. Maybe up front and maybe in midfield, but apart from that, I can't really complain, really. I find it very peculiar that they seem to be persistent with this 4-4-2 Xamax. They've had it for a while, and I think it can benefit them sometimes, but then it's a hindrance. I mean, we had the 4-4-2 fairly early on in season 1, and it worked to an extent, but then I had to change it around. I think we will bring on Mr. Tim Varian here, because Giannis is not having a good game. And who else do we bring on? Maybe, yeah. I think we'll bring on Dorian Debachki. Just as an alternative for midfield, because I think Lacasso's doing alright in that defensive role. Maybe we might bring on Isik at 70 minutes. I think that might be the next. I think that might be the next course of action at 70 minutes. Because he is pretty tired. And I'll tell you what, we're going to bring on Keller for Kajelski. I'm also going to take him off that. Yeah, we're going to take him off that. I wasn't sure if we had him on that same role. And then, yeah, I know Samba's on 2 goals. But he's that's the only thing that Samba maybe will struggle with is his natural fitness. If he doesn't have good natural fitness, then he will obviously not have a good time recovering between games and lasting games. Holland's team in the corner anyway. It's straight to cut in. Don't know why I was going to call him Custin there. Anyway, Danoon, Lampert, Girano, Segura, Fabio Fair. Ball into Tim Varian, and it looks like it's going to be a penalty. Can the big man from Finland make it 3-0? He can. Big Tim Varian. The beautiful man from Finland. Never usually lets me down. I was going to say never ever lets me down, but he does let me down sometimes when he misses penalties. But their keeper has had an absolute howler today. 5.9 there. I'm just going to lower the tempo a little bit. Just fitness-wise concerns. And we've already made our 5 subs. Is a great win for us. 3-0 away to one of our closest rivals. And I'll show you the table in a moment when it comes up. Fortunately, Yverdon have won 2-1 in the 95th minute. They are very lucky, but we have got 6 goal difference ahead of them. I think it's going to be us and Yverdon, I must admit. It looks like that at the moment, but I wouldn't rule out the other 3, Xamax, Ville, and Schaffhausen. And maybe if Grasshopper Zurich win in the later game, outside chance of them, maybe. But we are 7 games unbeaten now, which is great, fantastic. Let's just quickly show you the Challenge League. So Samba's on 13 goals this season. And then also you can see there, Mr. Ritzy is also on joint clean sheets with Schaffhausen's goalkeeper, De Mol. But yeah, 21 goal difference, 12 wins. If we keep this up, hopefully we can keep this up. I'm praying, fingers crossed, that we'll go up as champions. So, next time, I was discussing it last episode. I think if things aren't going to plan, we'll do the Yverdon game. I'll see where I am at the Yverdon game, and if we are maybe a little bit off it, like maybe 3 points behind Yverdon, or it's like 1 point in between, then that's probably the game that we play next. But if things are going well, I might do the Ville game instead. If things are going well, and then depending on, I'm speaking hypothetically here, if we are at a stage where we are, out of the way in the league, it'll probably be the Stade Noir game, depending on when the trophy might be handed out to us, hypothetically. But even if that's not in the game at the end of the season, I'll get that in some form of video for you. A comfortable win for us there in the end. I thought that was going to be more complicated than it would have been, but no, pretty simple 3-0 victory there. Samba on the score sheet. I'll have to get a sound in for him if he continues scoring like this. 13 goals in the season so far, so he's proven me, and hopefully you guys, the reason why we went and signed him. He's definitely developed into a much better player this year. But yeah, I think going forward, the next game probably will be the Ville game, unless things are going wrong. Fingers crossed that it's not. But if they are, you probably see me at an earlier stage, the Yverdon game. And like I say, if we're comfortable and for some reason, we're out of it, we're way ahead, and we do pick up the trophy, or more than one trophy because we're in the Liechtenstein Cup as well, I'll of course show you that in the next episode. But that's for the next episode to decide. If you have enjoyed the video, please make sure to give it a like, and also consider subscribing to the channel. That's greatly appreciated. And hopefully by the next time you see us, we should be in a much more comfortable position. Hopefully we will be miles ahead of Yverdon. But as always, take it easy, stay safe. Bye everyone.